Good evening. This is Patrick Malley, principal at Meridian Early College. So sorry that I'm not able to be there tonight. I am currently in Detroit with a team of teachers learning about the new Echo platform that New Tech Network has put out. And I was hoping to Skype in tonight, but in the event of technical difficulty or logistical issues, I want to send off this video just so that you can hear my voice talking about some of the work that's been done in the sex ed curriculum committee, and then you can ask questions of some other folks on the committee if you have them. To get started, I just want to give you all a comprehensive overview of what it is that we're proposing. And before I do that, just to give you a little bit of insight on the history of how we got here. Historically, at Meridian High School, our sex ed curriculum has been limited to an abstinence-only focus. And this was actually one of the reasons that the student that brought these changes to our attention wrote the letter to the board asking us to look into our sex ed curriculum, was because we had a very narrow curriculum that resulted from the lengthy process necessary in order to change that curriculum. It goes back some years, according to Dave Pettyplace. So when we first started meeting with the sex ed committee, talking about what it is that the group wanted, it became clear that we obviously wanted something much more comprehensive to cover all of the types of sexual education that we thought our students needed, given the change in the world that they're living in today. So just to give you guys a general overview of what we're looking at, covering all of those, all of the following in our freshman wellness course that all of our students take. The first is to take care of the sexually transmitted infection and HIV/AIDS prevention. We think that it's important for students to learn about the prevalence and risk of these diseases and infections. Also, we think that in the freshman year, students should get a rather thorough understanding of reproduction and reproductive health, as well as sex education, which includes the risks of sexual behavior, with a focus on abstinence, of course, but with just the consequences, the social, emotional aspects of sex education. And then as well as we want to take that conversation into family planning, the idea that there are steps that adults can take in order to plan out when they have children, such as birth control, the use of condoms, etc. And then something that we want covered in our wellness course, but we also want retaught every single year because of we think it's important for students to have reminders, is just the impact that risky behaviors, destructive decisions, and criminal sexual acts can have on their lives. And so these are behaviors such as sexting, or having sex before the age of 16, having sex with someone under the age of 16 when you are 17 or 18, things like that could potentially get students into some trouble. Also includes drinking, drugs, driving while intoxicated, and other such behaviors. So that's pretty much where the committee ended. Here's a letter that we intend to hand out. This models the state letter. There's a copy of this letter that has been shared in the board packet. I sent it to Dana this morning. We call this letter an opt-out letter because it basically, the default is that all students at Meridian Early College will receive this education as a result of their wellness program, unless a parent sends this sheet back saying that they do not want to attend. As is true for all sex ed curriculum, and HIV/AIDS curriculum resources of the state of Michigan. Parents have an option to choose to participate in a class meeting, or not participate, to observe a class meeting, uh, to be more aware of what it is that we're teaching. But this document just discloses to parents when the curriculum will be delivered. The two documents that I want you to reference tonight when it comes to the curriculum that I mentioned 2 slides ago are the State of Michigan grade level content expectations and the Wayne-Risa Safe and Healthy Schools Recommended Sexuality and HIV/AIDS curricula. So I will go to them now. The first document, if you go to page 5, I believe, you'll see the specific state standards that deal with HIV, AIDS, and STIs, and then strand 7 dealing with sexuality education. And what you'll see is the type of education that we're talking about. And these are, again, standards that are in the state law but have not been taught at our high school because board has not approved them, and this provided us an opportunity to present the curriculum to become more comprehensive. So you'll see things like explanation of laws related to sexual behavior, pros and cons of methods used for pregnancy and disease prevention, including abstinence and the use of contraception, medical screenings, examinations for reproductive health, medical tests for pregnancy, HIV, other STIs, information about accessing resources, counseling for teens, care for baby, things of that nature. Also healthy behaviors, influences, stereotypes, norms, peer pressure, alcohol, other drugs. We're talking about a thoroughly built out curriculum around the types of behaviors that lead to healthy adulthood, as opposed to these risky decisions that some young people could make. When it comes to the Wayne-Risa document that I had mentioned, we shared this just to provide the types of resources that we'll be using while we build out this curriculum. There are certainly more, but we wanted to provide you with some resources to start. Because our health wellness teacher is currently retiring, and this summer we'll be having to support a new teacher in the district in that role, we were not in a position to finalize curriculum resources. However, we do think that the level of risk at the high school level does warrant additional board notice and questioning. So I'd like to propose the following implementation timeline. In spring of this year, the new high school health teacher will be identified, and then this summer we will, as part of our regular curriculum work that we're starting this year, this new health teacher will begin unpacking the state curriculum on sex education and the resources that are available in the state for sex education. And in the fall, there's a 2-day sex education workshop that's actually required of health teachers before they start teaching sex education, that we want our health teacher to go to for training and curriculum resources. And then in midwinter of next year, 2016-17, the new high school health teacher will be back to the board meeting to present the curriculum resources and planning documents to the Board of Ed for approval. So if we say that we will be providing curriculum on family planning, we want to know what video is going to be shown to students, what worksheet will they fill out, things like that. We want to get rather specific with the board so that if a parent does take issue, the teacher of this course feels appropriately covered in terms of awareness and public disclosure before it goes out. And then it'll be sometime late winter or spring of 2016 that the new high school sex education curriculum will begin being taught to students for the first time. After the 2016-17 school year, who knows where the sex ed curriculum will fall. That'll be dependent largely on the teacher and discussions once everything gets flushed out. Maybe it's spaced throughout the year. Maybe it's always at the end of the year. Maybe it's always at the beginning of the year. I can't say until we start that work. For now, just know that the committee has recommended that we teach a comprehensive sex education curriculum, and that we will be relying greatly on the state standards for sex education and STIs and HIV/AIDS, and that as we hire this new teacher, this will be the direction that we head, and before we roll the curriculum out to students, we will be back to the board for approval. If you have all have any questions, please feel free to ask the other members of the committee. I will be back for the next board meeting to answer any questions that you have personally. Thank you so much. I apologize again for not being there in person. Have a great night. Thank you.